Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Build and Breathe. This is a podcast that is meant to really help you improve your professional life as well as your life outside of your professional career.
I'm Corey Silva. I'm a girl dad, founder of a custom software agency, and a former athlete trying to figure out my fitness journey. Here to explore the grind, the growth, and the game of building business and life at the same time.
And my name is Nik Andrews, also an entrepreneur, fitness expert that is published both in radio and TV, and an actor. I am currently building the most comprehensive and value-packed corporate wellness product on the market. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to Build and Breathe.
We are back, and today we have a great, very relevant questions, especially for our American friends, because as a Canadian, Thanksgiving has already passed, but for American friends, Thanksgiving is just beginning, and then you're getting into the Christmas season and the holidays and all the sort of the other holiday traditions and celebrations that go on in the world. And so we have a very relevant question for us today. Should I indulge this holiday season?
Yes.
Nik, are you indulging this holiday season?
I will if I have the opportunity to. I think my answer is a little bit easier because my family is not where I am located. So it kind of depends on like which dinners I get invited to, right? So I'm
Fair.
in a circumstance where I can control myself more. But I think this is more relevant to people that are surrounded by family and large families where, you know, our friend Johan comes to mind, where he will have a gathering probably for 6 days straight.
Yep.
And I don't know that he can do much about that, you know. I will, yes, if I'm given the opportunity. Will you, Corey?
I will, yes. I'll likely be indulging because, similar to Johan, it's not going to be like, I think, 6 days of festivities and large meals, but it definitely will be like a 3-day sprint of larger meals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to be going to my parents and then going to Rochelle's parents, and both of them are going to have big meals there. But truthfully, though, I don't know. Like, when I think about indulging, for me, it's not necessarily overeating. It's more about, like, during these times, usually I have things I normally wouldn't, like, have very often, and mostly related to sweets. So, in terms of the actual meals themselves, I actually never feel too bad about what I'm eating there, because usually it's something around the lines of, like, turkey, some mashed potatoes, some veggies, and I'm not usually, or not anymore, going up for like seconds or thirds of these plates. I'm usually going for like just one big solid plate. And so I don't feel like I'm overeating. I'm definitely indulging, but not overeating.
That's a good
So
good
I don't
point to
feel
make.
too bad during the holiday seasons anymore.
Yeah. That's a good point to make. Like when you indulge, do you overeat to the point where you almost feel like you could throw up? Or are you
Yeah.
indulging in the sense of like you having flavors and dishes that you normally would not? And even if that means an appetizer, full course, if it's a full course meal, an appetizer, main, and a dessert, yes, that's going to be outside of the norms of like a nutrition plan or something like that, but it's not completely sending it into like a consumption that is equivalent to like 3 days of yours regularly in one sitting, right? Which you can definitely do by accident, not intentionally.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's tricky. So I think to the person listening to this, right? Let's shift it to another way. Let's reframe it. Let's do it from another side of things. So I think that if you are going to dinners, you should not feel like you need to restrict to the point that you usually do on a given day. When you're on track, you're on track. When you're on the holidays and you're going to dinners, you shouldn't feel like you're living a double life, you know?
Right.
The way that you can frame this, and a great way to frame this, is if you stick to your, say, training regimen and your nutrition plan prior to, and you train extra hard, all of those additional indulgences and calories, well, within reason, but all of them, will benefit towards your recovery process. And whenever I did indulge and do indulge, my training after that is always the absolute best, the day after. Because
Really?
yeah, you have so much pent up energy. Like you have so much fuel in your system. So
That's fair.
if you sort of think about it as like a fuel tank, it used to, at least for me, again, like when I used to sort of think about this, I'm more of where you are now, where I just don't overeat when I go to these things. I'll just select the things that I want and that's it. I'm happy. But when I did, I used to have like monstrous training sessions the day after. Not with the purpose of like burning it off, with the purpose of utilizing it. Like it was just added energy. Like I could break records when the day after because I was my strongest. I was my most energetic. I had the best sleep ever because I ate so much that I was just out like a light, you know? So there are benefits to that.
This is interesting. Yeah, this is interesting because, like, I think a lot of people might not. They have all this energy, like you're saying, but they might not be working out afterwards. Like, they might not make use of that energy, right?
Well,
so I think
I'm not talking about the same day. Not at all the same day. The day after.
No. I might even mean like after, even the days afterwards. Like, I think a lot of people, like during the holiday season, they tend to just chill, like in every regard, right?
Right.
So I think unless you already have a routine of going, it's definitely a very difficult time to start something up.
For sure.
Not saying that you shouldn't try. I think I always recommend to anyone, like, give it a shot whenever. You can start today, start tomorrow, but whatever. But I think that's to me, when people are overeating, and generally it's overeating on carbs than anything, literally anything else.
Yeah,
that's
typically.
On that meal. Most people aren't making use of that energy, right? So you're right. Like, I think, you probably have some wicked workouts afterwards, but you got to go work out if you want to use that energy that you just ate.
It's interesting, though, because I'm not coming at this from, like, a guilt-tripping standpoint of, like, you should burn it off. It's just, like, you are going to feel the weights that, especially if you're doing strength training, if you are eating well, you feel great afterwards. You feel it. It is a very tangible cause and effect.
Yeah.
So much so that it, like, when you feel it, you're like, wow, I can't wait for, like, the next time I get to do this, It's like, it's such a relief for your body, right? Obviously, it's also because you have all the extra calories. So if you were to do that every week, you wouldn't move the needle in terms of, like, body composition or, like, look any better, right? No. But when you have this sort of thing, if you reframe it as, like, as a good thing, not a bad thing, it doesn't take you a couple steps backwards. It kind of gives you an opportunity to, like, do something more. It just reframes the mind. Cool. That's all. The other thing, though, that I think is, like, really important to chat about is, like, managing expectations. So let's say you are on a regimen and you're doing great prior to the holidays, and then you're entering the holidays and you're like, well, this is going to be a crapshoot. If you are that person, I think you need to, and usually, honestly, this is a problem with, like, type A people. They will say they're on their regimen for 5 days a week or 6 days a week or whatever it is, and then the holidays come and they're like, well, if it's all or nothing kind of thing. So it's like, I'm completely off now, off the rails. Fine, but I recommend trying to get, like, just reducing your requirements to 3 or 2 days a week. I think even 2 days a week is plenty to sustain yourself. It's a 2-week period. It's a 1 to 2 week period, ultimately, right? That we're talking about. Yep. If you step it down to 2 days a week, you still maintain majority of your results, and that, like, step back is just not gonna, and rather, like, the return is just not gonna feel as violent on your body. You're gonna thank yourself for not falling off the bandwagon, and you're not gonna feel as bad again about the indulgences, because you will feel the effect of, like, wow, I'm getting a lot of rest. I'm getting a lot of food in me. It's not a bad feeling, I don't think, where you feel like heavy. Well, unless you really overeat, but most of the time you feel pretty good the next day.
Yeah, man, I hear ya. No, that's good points. And another thing I want to bring up as well too is, often I know, like you mentioned right at the beginning of this, you're not close to where your family lives, and so for those that are, there's often a lot of pressure when you're kind of, together with your family they're like manja, you know, like they
Yeah,
want you
yeah.
to eat a bit more, try this, try that, right? And
Yeah.
so
The grandma comes out.
oh yeah, they just want you to eat everything because, you know, in a lot of cultures, food is really big and it means a lot, and like not eating it is almost like an insult, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course.
all I would say is like in those moments too, like I don't make it a point to like necessarily like almost, I don't want to say fight with my family, but like I don't make it like such a sticking point. I'm like, if they want me to try food, I'm going to try food. It's totally fine. You know, you don't have to have like a full plate or whatever they're offering you. Just like, you know, a little scoop of this, a little scoop of that, and you're golden. It's just,
Yeah.
So if you're feeling the pressure from your family, just like, you know that a lot of people are also feeling the pressure of your family. You're, you know, feel okay with indulging a little bit with the foods that they're giving you, because we're talking about like this happens on an annual basis, right? Once a year. Enjoy it. If it means like, you know, having good times and memories with your family, then I think it's worth it. So
Yeah, yeah. Maybe a final recommendation, I guess, if you are really, really, really trying to stay on track. Let's say you're type A. Let's say that you don't accept anything short of, we'll call it maintenance during the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
If I was forced to do that, and if I had to coach through that, I would recommend taking up fasting during the holidays. So you can fast and then have your window of eating be the dinner or the lunch that you have scheduled. And that way you're fitting, you know, 1,500, 2,000 calories into one sitting. And that's a lot of food. So that's a great way to just open up the possibilities of like eating without having to really, you know, pick apart the ingredients and stuff like that. It's a good strategy. If you must stay on track, and if you can't afford for yourself to let yourself go a little bit, that's a way that I would adopt it. If I had a photo shoot, or if I had to film a scene shirtless in January, that's probably what I would do if I was with family.
yeah, smart. I like that a lot. The fasting during that holiday, so you can have like that one massive meal. Mm-hmm. Really smart move. Now, before we wrap up this segment, though, I want to do a little fun thing. What's your go-to holiday meal, whether you're with your family or not?
You know, I'm not a big turkey lover. When it's Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, I love a good turkey dinner. And I only discovered that when we moved to Canada, right? Because I wasn't born in Canada. Dessert, cheesecake, all the way. And Olivia, it's a Russian-French potato salad. It's really good. It's got some carrots, some pickles, some meat in there. It's like everything. The way I describe it is, it's everything that potato salad would ever wish to be, and it never became.
I love that. Have I ever tried that? I don't know if I have.
Think so. I don't think so. And I shame myself. I'll bring some to you. I have to. You must. Yeah, it's up there.
It sounds amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
Okay, so I used to also not love turkey dinners because like turkey's just a dry meat, right? So I always struggled with eating turkey. But since several years ago, I discovered the method of deep frying turkeys.
Deep frying. I was gonna say.
Man, just
Change
like, you
your
know,
life.
some Cajun butter and a whole shit ton of oil will really do a number to a bird. So it makes it delicious. So I love a good deep fried turkey with Cajun and butter seasoning just injected into the meat. And I've been made it for my families for a while, a couple years now, and it's delicious. And then yeah, that honestly, just with classic mashed potatoes, some like steamed veggies is like very, very good. But then one go-to that my dad always makes, a Portuguese dish called bacalhau. And bacalhau is a very classic Portuguese codfish dish, which is usually the traditional way is just like codfish, boiled potatoes, and then what's it called? Oh, what's the last one? What's the veggie? Oh, I'm forgetting it now. Oh, it's a green veggie.
How is it? Is it baked? Is it fried? What is it? How is it done?
It's baked. It's baked. Oh, no, maybe not. God, I forget now. But anyways, what you do, though, olive oil and vinegar all together, and you mash it all up, and you kind of mix it all up, and you eat it. But my dad makes a version of it with, like, French fries. So he'll make French fries, like a really thin French fries. He'll make a bunch of them, cut up some onions, like cut up the codfish so it's like little pieces, and it's almost like this like Portuguese poutine almost, I guess, is the best way to describe
That's
it.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like
But
home
then you
fries
still put
then?
no, it's still like the longer little fries
Okay.
that he uses. But then you just still put olive oil and vinegar on top of it, and it's
Nice.
like it's delicious. My dad makes it almost every holiday season that we have, and it's very, very good. And then my dessert go-to is also what my dad has been making for a long time. Is what's it called? Oh my god, why am I forgetting all these names now? I'm blanking on them. Cream caramel. There we go. Cream caramel.
okay.
Cream caramel.
Nice.
Yeah. But he makes a homemade cream caramel, and it's just like the syrup he uses is just amazing.
Great.
Yeah, that's my go-to. That's my favorite. My favorite
Love
holiday
that.
dinner.
Love that. Cool.
Yeah.
So everybody
All right.
indulge. Have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun with it. So definitely indulge.
Just don't overeat is the lesson. Like if we had to give the one silver lining is indulge, have fun. Don't eat yourself into a grave. You don't need to do that to yourself.
Yeah. And go do a workout afterwards at some point. Not the
Go
same
feel
day,
good.
but like a
Yeah.
day after. Yeah, go feel good. If you want an amazing pump, feel that energy move through your body.
Yeah, if you've
Go do
been
that.
trying to crush like a new bench press or a deadlift weight, that is the time. After a
Nice.
good holiday dinner, that is the time, my friends. The morning after. Okay, everybody, second segment, we are on to Fluffy, to Buffy, where we follow Cory and his fitness journey, and we coach him through his transformations and body changes and so on and so forth. Cory, mic's yours.
Yep.
What's going on? How was your week?
Oh boy.
How did training go? How did nutrition go? What's up?
All right. So it was quite the week. Just a reminder to everyone that it was a week of travel for me. So we set up a little bit of a game plan of just adjusting some workouts to live on days where I was not flying. The plan was sound. The execution was poor. Many reasons for this. I got very sick throughout the entire week. So on top of being sick and traveling, I don't know if it was a cold or a flu or whatever I caught, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so it put a dent into both my nutrition and my workout schedule. Now, I purposefully left, like I didn't go back and try to put in what I actually ended up eating and stuff throughout the week, because I wanted to be very real of like, sometimes we miss shit.
Totally.
And this is what happens. So I want to just like be able to share that with everyone, that I missed tracking my nutrition from, I believe, like Tuesday to Friday. I can say with pretty high confidence that I underate my from what we were aiming, around 2100, I believe was the caloric intake we wanted to go for.
2000. Yeah,
somewhere around there. Anyways, but 2000. I can almost guarantee that I went under that.
Okay.
I tried very hard to just focus on protein heavier meals. Since I wasn't tracking, I was like, I'm just going to try to eat more protein based meals,
Right.
or protein heavy meals at least. So, if I had to give you a good explanation, I probably still missed most of my targets for protein, carbs, and fats across the board, but probably equally across the board. Yeah, I know how much I ate in a day and how close that probably is. It was probably closer to like 1,800 calories per day in my head, but can't know.
It's being sick is so tough because your appetite goes, and the worst thing about it is that technically to get out of the sickness, like your immune system would need more strength. So if you ate more, you would probably feel better. But this is, everybody struggles with this, right? Like this is not your just you experiencing this. That is definitely the hardest part. One thing that I've found that really, really helps to bounce back is electrolytes. Like specifically having electrolyte supplements as a supplement. Really, really helps you just stay hydrated throughout your sickness. And you don't need an appetite. You just need to be thirsty. So it's easy to consume. And it's not calories, but it is nutrients that your body can actually utilize for at least like just having those electric pulses going through your body to send the signals for your immune system to do what it needs to do. That's important.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as like Cory's progress, this kind of makes sense as to what I was seeing, because this was the week. So last week we were kind of just dialing in the nutrition. There were a few things that needed to change. There was a little bit of up and down. This was supposed to be the week where we see if there's an actual decline from the numbers that we had. But given the fact that you probably didn't get your workouts done during the time of the week, right? Before the scheduled weigh-in.
Yeah, that's right. I weighed in yesterday, kind of like our typical Saturday morning weigh-ins. So obviously you can see I didn't move. My workout schedule, what ended up happening, I worked out once during the week. And then I had 4 workouts. I only worked out once during the week. And then I did a workout yesterday and I did a workout today. So you can see I shifted a bunch of stuff over.
Yes, yeah.
So I got 3 out of 4, and I purposely did, chest buys, back tries, the first cardio, the second cardio, and then legs, and then I left my accessories. So I was like, at least I hit every part of my body, and I'll leave the accessory work alone.
And when did you did the weigh-in? What day? Do you remember?
Saturday morning.
Was it on this? Saturday morning. Yeah. Okay. So you did basically half the workload. No, because you would have weighed in before your workout.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So our weigh-in statistic, our weigh-in statistic is basically based off of like a quarter of the output that we accounted for, and obviously some weird things happening with your nutrition because of the sickness. So,
yes,
I say that because it's important to know the backstory, to know if it's numerically incorrect, or if there were other external factors that changed the outcome of this week, right? And in this case, it sounds like external factors affected the outcome of this week. So I am tempted to just keep it as is. I love your output here towards the weekend. I would just recommend make sure you take tomorrow off, because you just ran 2 days in a row after recovering from your sickness. Don't crush your immune system while it's kind of on the up and up. Are you feeling okay now?
Yeah. Not too bad. I still have a little bit of congestion, but like I'm not lethargic like I was earlier in the week and like sneezing up a storm and stuff. So,
okay.
Feeling pretty good. Overall good.
So then I think, let's start the week with this guy, the one that you left off.
Yep.
So we'll make up for lost time there, and then we'll get back on track with your chest day here, and your back day somewhere in there, and your leg day possibly over the weekend. So we'll bring that in. I'm also assuming that your strength sucked this week.
It was a little tough, but I actually did really well.
Actually, you're doing great here. Yeah, if we're looking at your barbell bench press.
Yeah, that was on... What was this? I think I moved this to Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah. Wednesday. Yep.
Wednesday. Okay, yeah. So I went to the gym with another one of my developers as well. And so I always find that when I have like someone that can spot me as well too, there's just a mental shift of being able to do more. So even though I was sick, my energy level was low. My strength actually felt okay during some of these workouts. I was kind of crushing it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like the little drop off to the 3 reps here. The challenge is actually going to be, I think, for this week coming back, see if you can do these numbers again. Don't improve. Just hang on to that 205. That would be an impressive feat.
Sweet.
Without a spotter, basically. That's your progression. So can you do this without a spotter?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
135 for 8 reps. Yeah, that's great, dude. This is really good. Good for you.
My one workout during the week when I was sick, I made it worth it.
Absolutely crushed it. If you had any extra calories that you consumed, that was it. That was utilized right there. That was your indulgence, post-indulgence workout.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The actually,
All
so
right.
my Saturday, Sunday workouts, the one I did this morning and then the one I did yesterday, I actually
Yeah.
found those a little bit tougher
Yeah, of course.
than when I was actually sick. But I probably lacked the amount of energy I probably required of not eating properly throughout the week, or not eating enough, not properly. But
I think it probably trickled down to the end, to the last couple of days.
I think I was able
Still
to
not-
stay at like where I was the week before for most
Yeah.
of the main workouts.
Yep. I think 185, like you're hitting I think probably if I had to guess, where you really, really struggled was like towards the end of the workout, right? Like this, you couldn't pull heavier.
Yeah, like near the end of the workout and near the last couple sets of certain workouts as well too. Like some of those like reps, even on the barbell row, like the 5 reps, like those were a slow,
Right.
Like it was a slow set. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And pull,
Yeah.
rest. Pull,
correct.
rest, kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. I think the goal this week ultimately is to get you to feel normalcy again.
Yep.
So don't try to beat your records from this past week. Just try to meet them and feel better about them. So like you're saying about efficiency, right? So think behind the numbers, the story behind the numbers. So 185 for 5. You did the 5. Now, can those 5 reps feel a little bit better for you? Where you feel a little bit more victorious rather than like, oh my God, I survived that. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would take this week with that.
Cool.
T-bar row. Same thing with the T-bar row. I love that you're still getting tons of push-ups in. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Enough said with that. I think that's good. And then leg day, I mean, that's going to suck, obviously, after a sickness.
Yeah.
Any leg day after
this
being
morning
sick is not good.
This morning was definitely a little bit of a struggle. I tried to stay at where I was the week previously. There were a few where I stayed at a lower weight and also a lower RPE. So
We never discussed
Yeah.
what RPE is. Did we?
yeah, we did. I asked last time, I think. Yeah, and you said it's like relative effort essentially. So it's like if it's an 8, you probably could have done like 2 more essentially, right?
Did we say that on the actual podcast, though?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we're good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So you had to drop some of the RPEs. So how it felt, how difficult it was. That makes sense. Yeah. You're not going to be able to push. It's interesting, though. When you're sick, you're like, your 9 out of 10 on difficulty comes from not muscle tissue, but like just your body not wanting to move anymore. It's a different type of fatigue, right? Mm-hmm. It's like if you were dying, if it was actual survival, a question of survival, you could probably push it still, even being sick.
Yeah.
But that level of like drainage comes on faster within your set for sure when you're sick. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, same goals for that one. Let's not try to crush any more weight or anything like that. Let's just fine tune that. I know you've been for protein as per your example of this morning, where you were already crushing like 50 grams of protein just as we speak, chewing on a protein bar and having a protein shake. That's 50 right there. So good job.
More like 70. The shake was 50 alone.
Woo. Okay, you're getting ahead of the game.
Yeah.
How's your digestion? Is your digestion okay?
Yeah, overall digestion's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had any problems with digestion.
Okay, cool. If it ever becomes an issue, greens powders are a great idea to add.
Okay.
They just have a few more digestive enzymes and things that will help your body absorb just overall food. Actually, maybe a good tip, and we'll probably bring this back later on, but when you're on a lower calorie, so let's say like we got to get you to like 1700 or 1800 for a few weeks calories.
Yep.
Greens will be a very effective supplement because it will make your body make more use of the food that you're consuming, and because you're consuming less food, getting as much extracted out of it becomes more important from an energy standpoint. So it will come into play, but not yet.
Sweet.
Cool, man. So this week, just get yourself back up to 2,000 calories. You're already paying attention to that protein, so I trust you on that. And we'll regroup at that point. We're not going to add any more cardio. I love your 3 sessions right now. Let's just get you back on output. We're going to look for anything between half a pound to a pound of weight loss at the end of this week. Let me assign you a weigh-in on... Is Friday morning okay?
Oh, yeah. No problem.
Great. Let's do that.
And while we're doing that, too, I'll also make sure... Because like one of the focuses for this week was for me to focus on my fat intake.
Yes.
And obviously because I didn't track as much this week, I didn't get to actually have that much of a focus. So I'll make that a focus for this week to make sure that I'm keeping track of that, managing that well. And then just some foresight for not this week, but the following, traveling again. So this will be a little bit different because it's not a work trip. It's like a vacation. And I'm going to Turks and Caicos for like a week. So.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Yeah. So this will be a little bit different, but I do have access to a gym, do have access to a beach. And so maybe next week we can talk about like the plan. Because obviously the gym is more limited, but I do also have access to more activities. So like, kayaks and paddle boards, and I could go for runs and like body weight workouts, like, so maybe we can talk about that next
week. Absolutely. I think that'd be great. Yeah, game plan for vacation mode.
All right, this is our last segment. Dong.
Let's just keep it as is. That was great.
We're gonna keep it as is.
Yeah.
This is Touch Grass. This is where Nick and I, as working adults, as men, as entrepreneurs, as dads, and just men in general, we ground ourselves in the week. Like we're both working very hard. Life hits us in different ways, and this is just a way for us to talk about the wins, challenges of the week, and then how we are tackling it, either previous week's challenges or in future weeks, how we're gonna move forward. But sometimes there isn't an answer to stuff. It's just about sharing our very real experiences with people, be a bit vulnerable, and be human. And
maybe try to talk through a solution.
Ideally. So Nick, let's start with some wins. Any wins for this week?
Yes, as far as my corporate wellness is concerned, I got a movement and mobility specialist on board with my team. Very interested. Is a guy that I've known professionally for like half a decade now. He's fantastic at what he does. So he's going to be a great asset. I think the other major win is I'm starting to find some traction within smaller company organizations. Things like agencies, whether they're marketing agencies or PR agencies, as far as customer base.
Okay.
I find that they're like innovative enough, nimble enough, and young enough to understand what I'm doing. I've realized that there's and this is kind of maybe leading into the next follow-up question, but I'm realizing that there's a generational gap in terms of management and like where management values money spent.
Yep.
And I would say anything older than in management, I really hit a brick wall with, Yeah. How about you, man?
That's fair. First of all, let me comment on yours.
Sure, yeah.
So really awesome that you have someone, the mobility guy on board, so that's really good. In terms of like the management, in terms of age and stuff like that, it's really interesting because oftentimes what I saw was they will only invest into, I would say, more health and wellness related stuff if it's a mandate from the board because it looks good from the outside. You do you know what I mean? So that's the only time I've ever seen. A good example is anything DEI that came up, right? That was very much like a trend and a wave that literally every corporate like
Yes.
entity took on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for, you know, the good of the people. Maybe in some cases it was, but it was mostly
It was a
because,
mandate.
like, oh well, it was a mandate.
Yeah.
And so I find that this is also very similar, where it's like if they had to choose between, you know, spending money on something else in the business versus spending on health and wellness for their employees, they're going to opt for something that's a little bit more financially tangible in their eyes, I would say. Like, it just makes more
Yeah.
sense. More traditional, maybe more traditional. More financially traditional. in their
More
eyes.
traditional. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, so I was gonna bring up like my examples or my experience is that those older management models, they will spend millions on brick and mortar. So they'll build a facility, a gym. That is their solution to it. It's like, well, we gave you a gym, when really the issue is that nobody knows how to use it, or they don't have the motivation and inspiration. They don't have the accountability. Like, it's all of the it's the hard assets versus like soft assets, if you will, of like that solution, right? Hard skills, soft skills. The brick and mortar would be the hard skills. Like, we gave you a computer, you know, do your job. It's like, but I don't know how to work a computer, you know?
Yep. That's a great analogy. And very true. Very true. So interesting that now you at least you have it's almost like you have a more defined ICP, which is kind of great.
It's honing in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really awesome. Which, funny enough, is you said creative and marketing agencies was the two?
Yeah. I just reached out to. So I have a person that I'm talking to who will be in charge of my sales operations, and she's been putting out feelers. So she's been kind of feeding me what she's been talking about and talking to, and where she's found traction. And then off of her feedback, I reached out to some of my friends that work in PR firms, public relations firms, who I used to work closely with when I was in talk shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of traction there. There was a lot of interest there. Just openness to see it, right? And that's your first green light when they're like, "Oh, this sounds really cool," you know? Let's see it. Yeah.
I was commenting on it because we oddly have similar ICPs, but for different services and products.
Right.
But I've noticed as well that service-based businesses, younger service-based businesses, tend to want to invest in like software more. And yeah. Anyway, just an interesting anecdote, I guess, of kind of what you're saying. It might be the same thing of like, you know, older generation just don't see tech the same way, and it's harder to adopt and harder to understand, whereas like, you know, younger businesses, younger management, they have a want for that, and they understand it, they know there's like pros to it. So it's just very interesting.
There's very, very nerdy and very techy here, but like, I used to work for Microsoft, right? And I think of the Microsoft suite, the 365 suite, and there's like the executive levels and all that. I feel, looking back at it, as like any older generation thinks that everything that they needed software-wise, they had. Because if they have Microsoft 365 loaded on in their corporation, they have all the tools they need. They don't need any more. So it's like, it's covered, it's checkbox, it's done, right? It's been it's mandated, and it's there.
Yeah.
I think newer generation companies are more of like it's like a buffet style, and we tend to pick our plates, so to speak. It's like, well, I need this, I don't need this. I'm never going to use this. Why would I even have that on my computer or in my array of tools, right? I see that in you. You're so good at nitpicking softwares for all the solutions that you need, right? Yeah. And your software is different than the software that your business partners use. So person to person, your suite is different.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, yeah, totally right. So it always has been harder. That's why I don't touch enterprise level customers, because a lot of them think that way, and most of them too also then just want you to work with that old tech stack. And I'm like, no, we're not in the game of doing that. So, anyways, it's just it helps us figure out who not to sell to, which is perfectly fine as well too. So but when from my side, so last week I mentioned a challenge was one of the larger deals that I was working through. Longer sales cycle was a big a big deal that we're working on. I was having trouble getting their, a commitment from them, either a signature or deposit and all sort of stuff. And just yesterday, I finally got their signature on our proposal, which was fantastic. So, still waiting on deposit. That's still, there's steps to this commitment, but it was the first real show of commitment from their end, which is fantastic. So I feel good. I don't consider it closed until I actually see money in the account.
For sure.
But assuming that all goes smoothly next week, it will be the biggest deal that I've closed in my career, which is really cool. So
congrats, man.
Yeah.
Well, no, we will hold off the congrats until then. But it's
Yes.
good. It's moving in the right direction. That's huge.
Yeah, exactly. So good win for that for the week, and then
Wait,
some
hold
other
on.
wins.
Piggybacking off that, did you do
Yeah.
anything different to achieve that, or was it just patience and time?
I don't think I did anything really that different, man. Like I followed up because my goal initially, if we go back to the last podcast, I said
Yes.
by Monday of this week that just passed, I wanted a signature or deposit. I didn't get that on Monday. I followed up with them on Tuesday, and they came back with like one little thing that they wanted added to the proposal. Fine, but me following up is no different than any other process I would have normally done, right? And then just yesterday, I kind of just got the email that they signed the proposal. So a lot of it was just patience and time.
Yeah.
Truthfully, like my actual process, I didn't change because I'm very conscious of not being pushy, but like, following up enough that it's consistent, but not following up too often that it seems needy, right? It's
I totally, it is an art. The art of the follow-up is huge, but in your case, what it sounds like to me is that you followed up with the ask of like, do you need, and I haven't read your email, but it sounds like you ask them if there's something missing, or if they need your assistance with anything to make them feel more confident in this. And they did. They had something that they wanted to add to the proposal. And had you not followed up in that way, maybe you wouldn't have closed it. So I don't know that it was just patience and waiting. It sounds to me like that was the final reassurance angle that they needed.
Yeah, and you are correct. I was looking at the email. I was like, what did I actually say? And the last sentence I said, and also want to check in on the proposal itself, anything outstanding that needs to be addressed. So there we go. That kind of prompted them to include that.
Yeah. I think that's the big learning there, right? Like, I think, especially for me, selfishly, like from my side, I'm sometimes tender to follow up. I imagine I'm not the only one where you're concerned, or like, am I being a bit too pushy here? Is this a bit too aggressive?
Right.
Is it too soon?
Yeah.
And I think if you're coming at it from a place of, is there anything I can do to make this easier of a journey for you, is the better way to go. I think that the challenge, this is a bit of a tangent, but when you are asking somebody for something, where you're not necessarily offering a service, you are asking for, I don't know, just for them to review something. That's a harder follow-up to build, because you're not telling them like, what can I do to make this easier for you? You're asking them to give you the initial time of day, and the follow-up on that is tough.
It definitely is tough. One thing I'll say overall that has been successful for me, just in follow-ups in general, is I always front load my follow-up, so it doesn't seem so needy. And what I mean by this is that, usually it's within a call, sometimes within an email, but I always get a deadline with them, rough deadline. So it's like, hey, I'm like, when do you think you're going to be able to, have an answer by, or have this reviewed by? They'll say, oh, maybe Friday, probably Monday. I'm like, cool, no problem. I'm going to follow up with you on Monday and just see how things are going. And me telling them that I am going to follow up with them always helps make it seem less needy. That like, instead of me just like popping into their inbox, they're like, oh my God, this guy's bothering me again. They were almost expecting it. So that I found has been a useful language when doing follow-ups. Yeah.
Would you ever give a soft deadline like that in your first initial pitch email?
Ooh, first initial pitch email.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, how could you frame that.
So, yeah, okay. I see the direction you're coming from on this. For me, this doesn't happen too often because usually people are coming to me with, like, I have something I want built, and I have, like, my discovery call. I build the proposal, and then I'm booking another call with them to review that proposal. And so I have, like, this set timeline. I don't do a lot of, like, I'll say colder outbound anymore.
Outreach, yeah.
Where I'm, like, you know, pitching them on something. Like, I've kind of have this system now where people are mostly coming to me. And so, so I actually don't know if I would do a soft deadline on an initial pitch. Truthfully, probably not, because we're coming from a place of almost no leverage. And so, like you said, you're kind of at the mercy of their, like, giving the time of day to look. The only time I would say is if you've already had, like, an early conversation with them where they were like, yeah, send me along, I'll review it, like, even very casually. Yeah. Maybe then I would say, like, hey, here you go.
I'll follow up with you in a week. Yeah. Because I think there's a lot of power there, and
for sure.
Figuring out how to play that game certainly swings it in your. Because otherwise, it feels like you're sending it into a vacuum. Yeah. And there's nothing worse than sending, all of your work into a vacuum.
Yep, absolutely.
So this is kind of a healthy conversation, like, just for me and how I structure. So, for example, I have 3 leads right now that I have to build proposals for this week. And all of these would fit category B, where I can create that deadline for myself. Yep. They're not completely cold. I've already had a conversation with them. Mm-hmm. However long or large, like, they showed an openness to it. So I'm glad we had this conversation. I will push for my own deadline there.
Yeah, there
not
you go.
Next day, give them a week.
No, you got to be reasonable with their own processes and stuff like that. But
yes, I'll circle back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 8 a.m. first thing. But yeah, dude, it's a great practice, and even one of my mentors as well recommended to me. I haven't really tried it, but also, what was it? What did he tell me to do? And I haven't tried it yet. Oh my god. Something with today, with the air, that, like, everything is slipping from my mind, and now I'm forgetting. But it was on the art of the follow up as well too. I can't remember. If I remember, I'll share it with you. It was literally there as you were talking. I was like, oh yeah, this thing came in my head, and then it just disappeared. Yeah. Oh well. But yeah. Hopefully, let us know on the next podcast how maybe that goes.
Yeah.
If you end up getting answers by then, but
right. I was gonna say, it'll depend on, because the follow up, I imagine, would be next Monday, not tomorrow, but the next one.
Right.
Challenges.
Cool. Challenges. Did you want to start, or do you want me to go?
No, I'm shooting it to you first.
Okay. Challenges for me, obviously, I think for me this week I was pretty sick. So fair. Just overall, just wellness challenge of not being able to hit my workouts during this week, and then being away from home from, like, Rochelle and my daughter and stuff like that. And so it was just a tougher week in that regard. Nothing else I could really do other than try to eat as best as I can and drink a lot of water. I probably should have had more electrolytes, like you were saying, that could kind of help. So yeah, I don't know, nothing really to, like, improve on that from for this coming week or the following weeks, but just it kind of sucked just being sick throughout the week.
Got it. Okay, nothing to improve on. But just it's going to improve via health.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think of maybe other challenges that came up. I mean, not really, man. This week was a decent week in terms of, like, work and stuff like that. Like, we had the team together in Kelowna this week, and it was really cool to have them all together in the same room and, like, working together. So that was really fun. But no challenges that came out of it. I think. Okay, one thing I can think of. It's a really good challenge to have. We now have 11 active projects on the go. And we have multiple that need to get started that have not been started yet. And it's because we're short on resources. So my challenge right now is hiring the right people into this role. So I'm going to be posting on LinkedIn tomorrow about hiring a couple full stack developers and a project manager. So is my CTO. He's going to be doing the same thing. because we need people. And if we're going to be closing this big project that I was just talking about as one of my major wins, we need more people for sure, 100%. And the challenge is, even though I'm going to post, I'm going to leverage my partnership with Martel Ventures to see if they have people in their network to kind of bring in. Hiring into the holiday season is one of the most difficult times to hire. Chances are they're not going to start until the new year. And so chances are a lot of people don't want to leave right before the holidays because they have like a lot of expenses. Yeah. So it's a bit of a tough environment to hire in, but not impossible. So I'm just going to do everything I can. Like I said, I have a pretty big network now on LinkedIn, so I'm just going to kind of share and post on there and see what comes from that. My brother's a software engineer, and so he used to talk. He has a good network of software engineers as well too. So I'm going to send him like the job description. He's going to share it in a couple communities.
Right.
So it's a challenge, and those are kind of all the things I'm going to try to do, even though it's a really crappy time to try to hire people. Yeah.
Well, you can always start and get the wheels in motion and then continue, right? Like, I mean, there's no deadline on it. It's not like a used car or like in a house for sale where it's like the longer it's live, the worse it looks.
Right.
I mean, maybe it does, but I don't think so. I don't think I would look at a job the same way that I would.
No. I don't think I would either. It's more so just a downside on the business, right? Like if you need that resource now, like having still no one for like 2 months means that you're probably suffering from a resource perspective. So
sure, yeah. Well, not to mention you're pushing your timeline, right? Like your time continues. I'm sure you have a deadline for when you need to have deliverables by.
Yes.
So, right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, as the old adage goes, 80% of the work is done in 20% of the time. So.
Yes.
Good luck.
Precisely. Thank you. How about you, man? What's a challenge for you?
I think for me, the challenge has been both time management and energy management. Energy management, massively affected at this point by the shorter days, just the lack of daylight. And I know I'm not alone. I think everybody, but staying alert and effective once the sun goes down around like 5 o'clock is challenging. I suppose fine if you finish your day at 5, but for those of us that need to do extra work after that, it feels like you're 6 hours into the night and it's only like 8 o'clock kind of thing. Like it just
not fun, man.
Yeah, so that has been a challenge. And then the other one was, I talked about it in a previous podcast, but I actually have a little solution for it. So I'm freeing up my Thursday now for pretty much majority of the day, which is awesome. So I now have essentially a work day, a full work day in terms of hours to allocate towards the corporate wellness side and then the other conversations I need to have.
Heck yeah.
Very excited about that. And
nice.
As far as staying alert, there were days that I did not do a good job, and then there were days that I did. The days that I did, it was about changing environment every couple of hours. Like I found that I just needed a stimulus of change of environment. So I did some work at my house. I went to a coffee shop, did some work there. Went back to my house after that, and just like that switch up allowed me to like squeeze out an extra thing here or there. Had I just stayed in my house, it wouldn't have gotten done. I know that for a fact. I saw that, the energy levels and focus like go way down. So I encourage everybody to do that. I think just change of environment can do a lot for you when you need that extra boost.
Absolutely. Have you ever tried just thinking about getting more energy? When I was working out of the Martel Ventures office in Kelowna, in their fridge they have a bunch of these Newtonic drinks. You ever had Newtonic?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
It's like I guess technically it's an energy drink, but they call it a productivity drink, and truthfully I don't know what the difference is between what a productivity drink is and an energy drink, but
I can imagine.
Yeah, but very good. And I actually found that to give me some decent energy, because we were working pretty late this week. Like most nights we were in the office until like 8 or 9 or something like that. So
yeah,
when it was like pitch black at like 5, it was useful.
Yeah. I have an electrolyte and caffeine drink that is it's not quite a pre-workout. It's meant to just have a energy effect on it, but
Okay.
it would do a similar thing, right? So electrolytes will help with brain activity and brain function. I don't recall if this has B vitamins, but if you had B vitamins, that would also help with those energy productions, right? But honestly, staying on top of electrolytes, B vitamins, and not having too much caffeine, but having a little bit of caffeine, that concoction can take you a long way. So yeah, I've been relying on that. Whenever I feel sluggish, for me, my solution has been electrolytes, actually.
Yeah, nice.
And it hydrates you, right? Your brain is mostly made up of water, so if you give it that, your brain is able to stay alert more.
Hey, thanks for tuning in and thanks for listening. Please feel free to give us a like or a review or a comment on whatever platform you found us on. And if you want to send Cory or I a direct message if something you found was super relatable, give us a shout on our socials. We'll put them in the description below. Thanks again for listening in and tuning in to Build and Breathe.